Good morning again. I'm just finishing up problem 3 and 4 of the guided practice from lesson 7 of unit 10. Problem 5 is pretty much identical to problem 4 and problem 6. It's not something that's going to be on the test or in the independent practice, so I'm definitely going to move on to lesson 8 and start getting that situated after I do these two problems. All right, so problem 3 is pretty much what we are doing from problem 1 and 2. We have this line segment J and K at 2 and 5, and K is at 6, 5. So let me just graph that on an X and Y plane. So K is at 2 and 5. So we go 2 over to the right and up 5. All right, and K is at 6, 5. So right here. So 6, 5, and 2, 5. All right, so we have this horizontal line right there. Okay, so now it says we're going to have a reflection across the x-axis. So instead of being at 2, 5, it's going to be at 2 and then negative 5. So right here. So our new J prime is going to be at 2, negative 5. And again, the x-axis, I can draw dashed lines by just erasing some of the axis like that, because that's what a line of reflection looks like. It's usually symbolized by a dashed line. And then K, if it's at 6, 5, it's going to be at 6, negative 5. So K prime is at 6, negative 5. So after our first transformation, which was a reflection across the x-axis, we have this new location. We just reflected it across this line of reflection, which is the x-axis. Now it wants a rotation of 90 degrees about the origin. So if you recall from the last lesson, a 90-degree rotation is going to have negative y, x as the coordinate. So if k prime is at 6, negative 5, after a 90-degree rotation, k double prime, because that means one transformation, two transformations for the double prime, we're going to swap x and y, so we're going to have negative 5, 6, but then it's a negative y. So if negative 5, it's already negative for our y value, we're going to turn it positive, because that's going to be negative 5, 6, but a negative times a negative is a positive. And then lastly, we have j prime, which is at 2, negative 5. And so j double prime, we're going to put negative 5 over for the x location. But since it's a negative y times, well, negative 5 times a negative is a positive. So it's going to be positive, and then we're going to have 2 right here. So again, we took x and y for a 90-degree rotation. And instead of having x and y written like a normal coordinate, we put y where our x goes right there. So we put negative 5 in front, but it's negative y. So since it's negative 5, a negative times a negative turns it positive. And then we put the x value where our y value usually goes. All right, so now I'm going to just graph that. So we have 5 and 2 and up 2. So that would be our j j double prime, and then k double prime is at 5 and 6. So it's right here. So our final solution is this horizontal line, or sorry, this vertical line right there. And the points again for K double prime is at 5, 6, and J double prime is at 5, 2. So it's this vertical line right here. All right, so number 4 is the last kind of concept that you'll be going over in this lesson. It's basically saying we have this triangle S, and we have two parallel lines, M and P, and we're going to do a transformation going S to double S prime. So the first thing we're going to do is basically make a reflection over line M for triangle S. So it's going to look something like this. All right, we reflected it over line M. And that creates for us S prime. And now we want to get S double prime. So we're making a reflection over not only line M, but line P. So then we're going to have our S right here. And it's going to go like this. Something like this. So our S double prime is going to look like this. Again, the book wanted us to go this triangle S, reflect it over line M, and then reflect that over line P. So it's a double reflection. That's how we went from S to S double prime. So we reflect S over line M, and then do another reflection of S prime over P, and that gives us double S prime. So this is our final solution right here. All right, that concludes lesson 7. I am going to start lesson 8 right now and post that to YouTube by the end of the day. I should also post unit 10 lesson 9 hopefully today as well. If not, it'll be tomorrow, and then I'll have the review up also early this week, hopefully all by Wednesday. Anyways, have a great day, and I will see you soon. Take care.